Because one of the big differences between him and me is he does not believe free trade agreements deliver a large economic bang for their buck. Well, I have to say, if you look at the last 30 years of world history, there are billions of people in the world who might just take a different view on that. Now, the second option that I would like to talk to briefly was the Norway option. Now, the Norway option I looked at very carefully. Indeed, I got castigated by my own side for paying too much attention to the Norway option. But I thought it's very, very important that we ensure that every single possible option is explored well. And I was approached and talked at great length by my honourable friend, the member for Grantham and Stamford. And Norway Plus appeared to have three actual virtues to it, as their protagonists say. First was it's the easiest negotiation, they thought, the simplest. It's the smallest movement and therefore the simplest negotiation. Secondly, it meets the conditions of the referendum, they say. And thirdly, it's the softest of soft Brexits. All possibly good arguments, except they're not true. The negotiation, it's not simple. We can't simply just stay in the EEA. That doesn't work. Jean-Claude Pires, the ex-head of the EU Legal Service, said in terms we'll have to renegotiate every single clause of EEA arrangement. It will require unanimity from 30 different members, and they are going to exact a price. Now, one of the advantages of Norway, you would think, is we control our own fisheries policy. But are we going to get that with a vote from Denmark, and a vote from France, and a vote from Spain? No, we're not. That's one of the problems in this. The negotiation hurdles are very big. It's cited that Michel Barnier said this was a possible outcome, only in conjunction with customs union membership. The two together, we are locked. We are basically in a worse position than the government's proposal. We're basically locked into the single market, no say, no control, but in every other respect, including free movement of peoples and paying money, we will be locked there. Norway does not find it satisfactory politically, frankly. A country like ours certainly should not. So that doesn't work. Finally, it delivers on the result of the referendum. No, it doesn't. Free movement, money, independent trade policy, jurisdiction of supranational courts, rule taker, on all of those we fail under Norway. So what's left? The last thing that's left is the free trade agreement. Now, I have long thought this was the best option. This is the one that's been called Canada Plus Plus Plus. It's been called Super Canada and a variety of other names. And somewhere buried in the middle of Dexu, in the middle of my old department, there is a piece of paper, well, actually, watch that thick, laying out how this can be done in detail, including some legal text. The concept is simple, and that's important in this context, because we're going to have a very limited time in the last few months to negotiate this. And this is the point I made when a couple of years ago, when I was making this argument. This is the 3 months that matter. The European Union always takes the negotiation down to the wire. Always. The last hour, the last day, the last hour, the last minute, the last second. Sometimes it stops the clock to allow the negotiations to conclude. And that's what's going to happen here, I suspect. I suspect we're going to go deep into time on this. So why was this attractive? It was attractive because we could build it from precedents. Canada is an EU-negotiated precedent. And you could add to it, the plus, plus, plus means all the bits that are not good about Canada. There's no decent mutual recognition agreement. You can lift that out of South Korea or the Australian deal. There's no decent phytosanitary arrangements. You can lift that out of New Zealand. So you go back to them and you say, here we have a proposal constructed entirely of your own precedents. It can't undermine the single market because you negotiated it. It can't undermine the four principles because you negotiated it. So that's the attraction of the Canada Plus Plus Plus. That's why it's based on that template. All based on precedents previously negotiated by the Commission. So it is perfectly possible for us to create a draft legal text on the basis of where we are now and put that back to the Union and say the 39 billion rides on this. You have to agree the substantive elements before we sign off, and then you have to agree the detail elements by the end of 2019. Plenty of time to do that on the basis of an existing boilerplate text. That's what we should be doing. We should stop grovelling to Europe and start grasping our future. Yeah.